little pig, let me in, let me in. Oh no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. That is a dialogue from the Three Little Pigs. The first pig had a straw hat, straw house, and his house was blown in by the big bad wolf. Ran to the second house. The second house straw had stick house, and it was blown in again. Then the two little red little pigs, ran to the third. That house was built of bricks. And the big bad wolf tried to blow it in, could not do it, decided to climb over the chimney and chimney down to eat the three little pigs. Landed in a big old pot of boiling water and became dinner for the three little pigs. The three little pigs are us. The red brick house is us having healthy habits. The big bad wolf is the big bad wolf of abnormal aging. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Today I will talk to you about my unique journey to staying young over 50. I've been enjoying and reading up and exercising and being healthy all my life. But it went to another level about 3 years ago when the doctor said, Ben, the cholesterol is very high. I said, cannot be that high. He said, each year I got 5 or 6 patients with that level at your age bracket who suffer from a stroke or a heart attack. Ever since then, my interest to stay young and eating healthy has went up dramatically. From my research, there are such thing as a youth triangle. S, E, E, C. Once I was blind to what is best for my health, but now I see. S stands for sleeping 7 to 9 hours. And in S, there's also another triangle, a triangle within a triangle. To have the best sleep, this is called a best deep sleep triangle. Starts with R, E, C, REC. If you sleep well according to these 3 principles, your life will be like recreation. If you don't adopt these habits, your life will be like a wreck. So R stands for regular sleeping habits. If you sleep at 10, wake up at 6, 7 to 9, around there. E stands for environment. You need to be in a bedroom that is quiet, that is cool, and that is dark. You could even get one of those blinders on your eye. That will help you to stay in a dark room. And C stands for a calm mind. So a lot of people journal, they pray, or they, like me, recite verses. If you have a tough time sleeping, then you sleep well. Today I want to share with you not just being calm before bedtime, but being calm all day long so that you have the best deep sleep. As quantity, you just have to be willing to sleep 7 to 9 hours. Deep sleep, you got to adapt some more habits. One of the best ways to have a calm day so that you have a calm sleep at night is to highlight, reflect, and reminisce the happy moments in your life. I've been a kindergarten teacher for 8 years and in education for 30 years. When I have a kindergarten class of 20, I would say, my name is Dr. Chi, Dr. period, C-H-E-E. It's like Dr. Cheese, but without the S-E. Dr. Chi. I thought I made it very clear. I love those kindergarteners. I want to start them young, being impressed that, hey, your teacher got a doctorate degree. At recess time, a kid would pull on me and said, teacher, what's your name again? I said, Dr. Chi, like cheese without the S-E, Dr. Chi. All right, Dr. Cheese, we'll see you later. Then in the afternoon, the same group of kids, I would hear them as the mom picks them up. Mommy, that's Dr. Cheese over there, Dr. Cheese. Then another few days later, I see a kindergartner, raise your hand. Are you really a doctor? And I said, well, I have a JD degree in laws. I got EDD in education. Got a lot of education as much as a medical doctor. I publish a dissertation. It's just a book. I publish a book. So that's why I'm a doctor. A few days go by. During recess, a kid will go, teacher, are you really a doctor? So it's those moments that I think about. It's a happy moment. It's somewhat embarrassing moment, whatever. It's happy. It caused me to feel calm. And it's those kind of memories that help me to stay calm throughout the day. When you think about positive things, let's say bad things happen, and you look at the world as a half glass, half empty instead of being half full, think of the happy moments. Go back, reminiscent, and you will see the cup is like the world is half full. And you will be calm and you will sleep well at night. Why sleeping well is so important? It's Botox on steroids. Your skin will be smoother. You will be able to have better mood. The study says you will live longer, and you can even smile without pretending. So sleeping gives you the energy, while eating Mediterranean flexitarian will help you to keep the energy going. So that's where the E comes from. Eat Mediterranean flexitarian in an 8-hour window, as close to an 8-hour window eating. And a lot of models, a lot of fitness experts, a lot of Hollywood stars, they follow this 8-16, 16-8, 16 hours of fasted state, 8 hours of eating window. So I do about 8 to 3 p.m., sometimes 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. Because the research says the body needs about at least 10 to 12 hours of fasted state before it starts burning all the glycogen and the carbohydrates in your body. Then it begins to burn fat. Also, study says autophagy happens when you have about a 12 to 16 hour fasted state. That means the body gets rid of its waste, renews the weak cells and the dead cells, the body gets rid of it. But it needs to be on a 12 to 16 hour fasted state or longer. Mediterranean flexitarian. Why flexitarian? Because I learned just from my own ways and learning. When I'm too rigid in anything, when I'm too rigid, you become unhappy and it's hard to keep it. So that's why it's flexitarian. Once in a while, I eat pork. Once in a while, I eat steak. Once in a while. So not just Mediterranean. So Mediterranean is, just remember, it can be summarized in one sentence. Eat simple, healthy food, walk daily, stress less, and occasionally red wine for research purposes. Remember glad versus sad. SAD is the standard American diet. That's where people just eat according to what's advertised. Basically eating what would the average American eat. And average American is large obesity problems. Top 15 diseases all happening with heart attack, cancer, diabetes, just because of the standard American diet. So GLAD is the Mediterranean lifestyle. GLAD. G stands for greens, green leafy vegetables, and all kinds of vegetables and fruits. Grains, whole grains, not processed. And good fats like peanuts, Brazilian nuts, all kinds of nuts. Unless you're allergic, then you make sure you check with your healthcare provider. L stands for lean protein, salmon, sardines, chicken breasts, any kind, tofu, any kind of lean protein. Egg whites, they consider Mediterranean. Shrimp even, but there's some cholesterol issue if you eat too much, but shrimp has good high protein. Lentils and legumes, all kinds of beans, high protein, high fiber. Research says that will help you for sure, against intestinal cancer and all kinds of cancer. Actually, a lot of cancers happen because the intestines has been too much waste material is not emptied and causes all kinds of cancer. A, all things antioxidant. Extra virgin olive oil, blueberries, blackberries, all kinds of berries. And finally, D, daily social connection. Research says when you're in a group that you can talk to, you can have something in common to do things with and talk, you tend to live longer, 5 to 10 or more. Joining Toastmaster is one of them. Joining Toastmaster, you will live longer and have better mood and happier. There you have it, GLAD. So when we eat Mediterranean, it's like we are putting high quality fuel into an engine. Exercise is what burns the fuel. Exercise. Remember power. Power. Power first is press for strength. Resistance training help you to build muscle. When you build muscle, you'll live longer, you'll burn more calories, you'll stay slim, and it will prevent you from falling. And you look better in the mirror. So exercise for strength. So I do upper body one day, I do lower body one day, upper body one day, lower body, and I switch off. So about 4 to 5 times a week. I try to aim for every day, but a lot of times I end up resting 1 or 2 days. So I don't go by Monday through Friday and rest on Saturday and Sunday because it doesn't happen. I just aim to exercise every day and it end up 1 to 2 days. Things happen and end up about 5 days a week. Resistance training and all kinds of other trainings, going to the gym, 5 to 6, about 5 times a week. Grip strength is a main indicator of longevity. Will you believe that? Your grip strength, how strong you could grip something, is a big indicator, one of the top indicators of how long you live, whether you live longer. So in addition to body weight exercise, I also do dumbbells and barbells to develop strength. And I hang on a horizontal bar at the end of a workout for a minute. Then my strength is very strong. And so it's not just because I want to live longer. I also want it because I want to open pickle jars on my own, independently. W is walk. O is oxygenate your body. This is heart health cardio. You may say, when I was young, I run. Now that I'm over 50, I only run when something is chasing me. There's a secret to all this. Running is not that bad. Cardio is not that bad. There's a secret. You just ask this question. What can I do developing my heart, doing cardio that I could do for the rest of my life? If you answer that question, everything, cardio would be easy. I know when I ask that question, what can I do for the rest of my life in cardio? I know if I do try like a marathon, hours and hours, I could never do it for the rest of my life. I know that. Anything more than 20 minutes, I know I cannot do for the rest of my life because I can't stand cardio. I don't like to repetitive over and over. I hate it. All my life, I hate it. So once I answer the question, it cannot be more than 20 minutes. It's answered. I read this book called The Bodybuilder Book. It's by Franco Colombo. He's an exercise companion of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He said, believe me, I tried everything to get rid of my stomach. I tried everything. Nothing works except 10 minutes of running on the beach. It never left me. I said, I could do 10 minutes of cardio. I could do that for the rest of my life. Now, there's no beaches here in Lexington, so I do something, what I can do. I do elliptical for 10 minutes. I run on the treadmill for 10 minutes. I do rowing machines for 10 minutes. I do all kinds of things for 10 minutes. I could do that. That's what I do. And I just do it 2 to 4 times a week, 10 minutes. And I find my heart is so much better. Actually, I'm kind of like an A plus, A minus, somewhere around there, according to my biofeedback devices. That would be another speech. My heart is very strong. Just 10 minutes. 10 minutes. W, walking is another longevity exercise. In fact, Clarence Bass said, nothing burns fat 100% almost as much as walking. I could never forget that. So I try to walk, I aim to walk 12,000 steps a day because I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds because my biofeedback machine says I got too much body fat. Even though I don't look like I got too much, it says if I want to live younger than 33, my biological age 33, according to the biofeedback, I need to lose 30 pounds, and I probably could go down to my 20s. I also have a confession to make. I've been married for 36 years, happily married. I want to lose 30 pounds so I could sing the song by LMFAO to her. I'm sexy, and I know it. E stands for explosive strength, explosive exercise. When you're over 50, the first to go is not strength. The first to go is not speed. The first to go is not cardio capacity. The first to go is power. It's explosive type of moves. And so a lot of times we people over 50 tend to, oh, we better do things moderate. We better things go easy so then we don't hurt ourselves and that kind of stuff. That's exactly the wrong mentality when it comes to longevity and exercise. Because explosive power is the first to go. If you work on the thing that is first to go, it'll be last to go, and you will stay young and even reverse your biological clock. It's very easy. Explosive moves very easy. Medicine ball, slam it 10 times. 14, whatever pounds, I do 14 pounds. Kettlebell swings, 10 times. Explosive jumps, it doesn't have to be too high. Very simple, 10 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week, and you will have your explosive power and you will stay young. Finally, R. R is relax and rest. All the exercise we do you know when, let's say muscle building, Your muscle doesn't really grow when you're tearing it down through exercise. Your muscle actually gets built up when you're in a rested state. So at the end of my exercises, I tend to go to the steam room. I do what you call dynamic rest. I stretch. I do mobility exercises. I do balance exercises because the research says when you go over 50, what is first for injury is not because of cancer, of sickness, but because of falling. So I do balance, 30 seconds each finger. Close my eyes in the steam room, 30 seconds. Very easy. I stretch. Why I stretch and I do mobility exercise? Because I remember going to Costco 10 years ago, put things into the car. Ouch! And I realized this is not going to work. I don't like this. But if I do stretching and mobility exercise, no more. I'm like young again. I never get hurt again from Costco moving like this. I no more ouch. You might say, but I learned this since kindergarten. I just have a tough time developing the habit, having the habits. Use the atomic book. Stack new habits with old habits. At the end of the day, I drive. That's a habit, an old habit. I just go to the gym as a new habit. That's it, simple as that. But you might say, but I still have a tough time develop the habits. Ask high quality why questions in the first 5 minutes of the day in your alpha state. Like, why am I getting younger and younger every day? Let's all say that. Why am I getting younger and younger every day? Over time, you will shift your identity. You will unconsciously begin to build healthy habits because you are programmed yourself to have a new identity. In time, when the big bad wolf said, little pig, let me in, let me in. You develop the habits to have a brick house, and you're going to have the big bad wolf of abnormal aging for dinner. Thank you.